Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode for the Nitro Racing League here on NASCAR Heat 4 on Xbox. Today we got race number 3 of the regular season at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a track I was looking forward to quite a bit. I'm not sure what we quite had coming into this race, but I did actually end up qualifying in the second position. But here you see the driver roster for this event here in Las Vegas. The guy in the 41 was new in this race, but here was the driver's briefing real quick. So it was a 111 or 110 lap race. So stage 1 ends when we hit lap 31, stage 2 when we hit lap 61, and the race will be over when we hit lap 111 unless we have overtime, obviously. But there you see kind of just the rules in this race as we would get ready, though, to go green from the second starting position, which is where we qualified there in the qualifying race now, as we are underway for the third race of the season here in Las Vegas. From P2 on the inside there you see Justin in the 31. Behind us we had Jay, one of our affiliate teammates and a moderator, of course, on the channel. He actually did not qualify for Auto Club last episode as he was sent home, unfortunately, in the Go or Go Homer event. Now, as he would actually get past me through turns 1 and turns 2 as we head down this back straightaway for the first and opening lap here in Vegas. There you see the 3 of MJ behind me, as well as we go up the outside of Jay through turns 3 and turns 4, and we'd actually be able to get clear of Jay and with no problems take over the second position as we came through down this front straightaway, completing this first and opening lap. And we would continue to stick with Justin as we came through on lap 3, getting to his right rear as we came out of turns 4, heading down the front straightaway, trying to take the lead here in Vegas for the first time as we crossed the line side by side, but they actually went wrecking behind us, and then the caution would come out for the first time here in Las Vegas. And to my surprise, stage 1 and 2 after this caution went very, very clean, and then the third stage, well, you guys will see how that went a little bit later on. But Justin actually decided to take the top on the restart, so he did control the restart, but we got a great launch here on the bottom, and it was certainly kind of mixed, but a lot of the guys had issues on that front row that weren't controlling the restart, but we were actually able to get going pretty well on most of the restarts when we were on the front row. Now as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2, trying to clear Justin through the center of the corner, but just couldn't quite do it as the outside lane has so much momentum here, and it was just so OP that really the bottom was so hard to work, at least up front. The mid-pack, the back, if you're in the back, it was easy to make the bottom work, but once you're up here battling for the lead, the bottom was so tough to make it work and complete a pass as we came out of turn 4. Justin still just barely in front of us, and he would get clear of us, and we would jump up to the top as soon as he did. And that would bring me right to his back bumper as we came out of turns 4, and we got Andrew, our teammate, right on our left rear quarter panel as we look to the outside of Justin as we come through to hit lap 9 here in Las Vegas of 110 as we go down into turns 1. Andrew gets to the left-hand side of the 31 of Justin. They both go at the track after making contact, and I'm going to cut down to the bottom in front of our other teammate, Karma, and make it 3 wide for the lead down the back straightaway here in the first and opening stage in Las Vegas. It was certainly turning into a bit of a pack race at this point. Behind us, you can see a lot of cars in the picture as Karma or Matt went up the inside of the 19 of Andrew, but couldn't quite make it stick. As we would get clear of Andrew down this front straightaway, we would be able to hold on to the lead for quite some time as we came through straight to lap 13. Now still running in P1 up on this higher lane, as it was just, like I said, so hard to make a move on the bottom and complete a pass, as Andrew actually behind me just got in the wall there, lost a little bit of time, and obviously green flag pit stops had started to come into play. Karma had made a pit stop, and then I decided on lap 17 I was going to come into the pit lane here, and I got pretty conservative coming into the pit lane. The pit speed was 45 miles per hour because we do have black flags on in this league, so you can't speed anymore like we used to be able to before in past games. So it was a 16-7 pit stop. Karma had taken only 2 tires, I believe, so he had already had fresh tires as well. There you see him going past me right now. I can't remember if he took 2 or 4, but I know obviously he pitted before us, so he was out in front of us, but I'm pretty sure he took 2 because we had such an advantage on him when we came out of the pit lane. Like I said, the stage 1 ends once we hit lap 31, so a little bit over 10 laps to go at this point. We came through to lap 23, and we would be coming through to cycle out in P2 behind Karma, and then behind us we had our other JGR teammate of Andrew, and then the 18 of Rocket. He was a little bit behind us, and then Jay, the affiliate of us, was a little bit behind too. He was struggling in this first and opening stage, but we came through now. Lap 24, you see me closing right on the back of Karma as we went down into turns 3 and turns 4. Unfortunately for him, he just didn't have the tires at this point to be able to really fight. So we come out of turns 4, immediately look to the inside as we go down this front straightaway side by side for the lead. And I was a little concerned going on the inside because I knew that would allow Andrew to actually be able to close up even more in turns 1 and at turns 2. But thankfully, we would at least complete the pass on Karma and take P1 here in Las Vegas late in the first stage. And then Andrew, he would be able to also get past Karma, struggling with those tires. Andrew came in a lap later than us, so he had just a little bit of an advantage as we came through down into turns 1 on lap 30 at this point. This was the start of the final lap here in the first stage, and I had enough of a gap here over Andrew that I really didn't have to do anything aggressive. I could just play it safe here on this final lap, and we're going to get our second stage victory of the season as long as I don't bin it in turns 3 and at turns 4, and sure enough, we're not going to do that now as we come through the center of the corner, making sure we don't get too sideways. I was dealing with a pretty loose car at the end of this stage, surprisingly, but thankfully we cross the line, win stage 1 here in Las Vegas, so we get an extra playoff point. We now have 2 playoff points on the season, so a nice little start, and hopefully we can keep up the momentum here with a solid finish hopefully today in Las Vegas. We would obviously come to the pit lane at the end of the first stage. So it was JGR 1, 2, 3 at the least. It might have been 1, 2, 3, 4 if I'm not mistaken, but we would come out P1 for the start of stage 2 and get going here. Andrew on the outside, not a good restart for him. And then Matt Chaffee in the 10 just behind us. We haven't seen him much in this episode so far, but here he is now right on our back bumper for the start of the second stage in Las Vegas. He jumps up to the top immediately, and that allows the 18 of our teammate of Rocket to get down to the inside of Matt and take over second place as we head down the back straightaway here in Las Vegas. Early on in the second stages, certainly felt very comfortable with this car at this point. It was just driving really good. I was glad. I was thinking about using like preset 6 coming into this race, and that would have been a disaster. I went with preset 5. Now as we go down this back straightaway towards turn 3, Andrew had actually climbed up to P2 in front of our other teammate of Rocket. Now as we came through turn 3 and at turn 4, Andrew was putting on a little bit of pressure at this point here in the stage. The car didn't quite feel as good for some reason as it did in stage 1 at this point, but it still obviously was fast enough to be running up front and contend for the front position. But Andrew gets to my inside into turns 1 and turns 2. He actually slides up the track quite a bit, and now as we're going to exit turn 2, we're going to go up the inside of him down this back straightaway. Rocket barely on my left rear, nearly 3 wide for a moment as we're side by side still for the lead with Andrew. We clear him into turn 3, but running that bottom, I haven't been used to running the bottom. I hit the apron and slide up in front of Andrew. Thankfully he slows up enough, and I certainly felt bad for that there because I just went up the inside, hit the apron, slid up right in front of him. You can see there I was clearly off the throttle hoping it didn't happen, but unfortunately it did, so it certainly created a bit of a moment now as Andrew is still trying to get to my left rear through turns 1 and at turns 2, but we would be able to hold on to the lead for a little more while after that little moment happened. Now as we came through on lap 47 though, Andrew had gotten back to my inside, the 18 of Rocket just behind me as green flag pit stop started to happen again here as the second stage ends when we hit lap 61 as Andrew slides up in front of us there as he just barely makes it work there. As I could have, if I was really ambitious, tried to go farther around the outside or even went to the inside, but I decided to just kind of give him a break on that one. Now as we came through turns 3 and turn 4, he gave us a break earlier obviously when I slid up in front of him. Now as Rocket though, he would come in to make a pit stop now as we came through out of turns 4, and then on lap 48 I decided it was time to make a pit stop, as well as Andrew stays up an extra lap, which is going to give him a tire advantage after we make the pit stop here, getting down to about 39 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour pit lane, and we exit pit road. Though it was not a good stop because Matt Chaffee would actually overtake us on the pit lane, so we lose a spot there. And now as we exit onto the track, already P3, but then you see some cars behind us, 18 of Rocky who came in a lap earlier, and then the 31 of Justin who would all cycle out just barely in front of us as Matt actually came up in front of Rocket. I can see he wasn't paying attention right there and almost wrecked him now as we came through running P5 at this point. Andrew was on the pit lane, and then he would cycle out behind me, and then we came to lap 52. Andrew would actually drive right back on past me as we went down into turns 1 running P4 at this point. Rocket out front at this point, just barely in front of Matt as we had gotten past Justin, and now as we came through out of turns 2. So Andrew certainly showing some speed late here in stage 2 as Matt, he would have a bit of an issue getting into the wall out of turns 4 on lap 53, so we would all get past him. And then sure enough on lap 53, Andrew and Rocket getting into it there for the lead position as they came out of turns 4. Rocket gets into the wall right in front of us there as he came down the track. Thankfully, we did not get cleaned out now as Matt would be able to take P2. We would have a bit of a battle, but we would eventually be able to get the second position back from Matt. Now as you see me going down into turns 1 and 2, clearing him at this point, but like I said, we continued to battle after this where he would take over P2, but thankfully in the end we were able to get it, and he would fall off a little bit after dealing with the loose car as well. So now we came to just 2 to go, approaching the final lap here in the second stage, right on the back of Andrew, looking to win both stages so far in Las Vegas. as he leads as the white flag starts. So now obviously I'm thinking, do I want to go bottom? Do I want to go top? I decide we're going to go in the middle. Andrew up top as we actually are able to get to his inside through the center of the corner, but on the exit of turn 2 I get very loose there, and that's going to completely destroy my momentum down the back straightaway. So I decide into turn 3 I'm going to full send up the inside, see what I can make happen, but I hit the apron and get sideways, and obviously I don't want to clean up my teammate, so I get out of the throttle, and Andrew comes through out of turn 4. He is going to win stage 2, and we're going to come through to get P2, which thankfully though P2 has been our worst stage finish in the last 2 races, so can't really complain there, as we've had 2 stage wins and then obviously 2 seconds, so very solid starts forward. So we would obviously come to the pit lane and get right into the action here for the start of stage 3 here. Andrew leading the way as we're running P2 heading down towards turn 1. Andrew clearly going to be a pretty big competitor against us here in this final stage, I would think, but obviously stage 1 and 2, they went pretty clean, and then obviously the third stage, I can certainly say it was a bit of a different animal. Now as we're going to go 3 wide for the lead actually into turn 3, the 3 JGR teammates now as Rockets on the bottom, Andrew in the middle, I'm obviously on the top here, Matt Chaffee in the picture as well as we exit turn 4. I got loose on the exit of the corner, actually got into Andrew there on his right side. That was just a mistake on my part. I just came out of turn 4 and the car just trying to go away on me. Thankfully we held on to it, but unfortunately kind of messed up Andrew in the process. There you saw behind us our other teammate Karma, it looked like involved in a crash, so the caution comes out here in Las Vegas as we were leading the way on lap 64. We all actually came back to the pit lane. Basically we pit every caution, and I decided to take 4 tires. A bunch of guys actually took 2 tires, so we actually got cycled back to P7. This is the furthest we've been back this whole race. Jay was actually on the front row. He did not have a good restart at all there on the outside, so obviously we restarted P7. Immediately we find ourselves in P4 heading down towards turns 1. Justin leading the way, but Matt Chaffee, he gets to the inside of him in the number 10 car as we go through turns 1 and turns 2. Andrew's going to go up the inside of the 31 as well. It looks like they made a little bit of contact. Now as we go down this back straight, we just kind of staying a little conservative right now, pushing Andrew down into turns 3 as I didn't really see the need to make an over-aggressive move. But there you see Matt, he goes up the track, and that allows Andrew to at least have a chance to look to the bottom, but Matt's still clear, so he drops down in front of the 19 as we come through, crossing the line on lap 67, so closing in towards the halfway point of this third and final stage as they both go up the track a little bit there. So now I'm going to come through on the inside, 3 wide for the moment there as we exit turn 2, but now it's just me and Matt side by side as we would continue to be in this battle. Actually, Andrew kind of got messed over. He had fallen back, but we'd finally gotten to the outside behind Matt Chaffee and continued running in P2 behind us. We had the 48 of another Matt, and then the 14 now as we went down into turns 1 through the center of the corner, using that outside momentum, but then the caution would actually come out again here in Las Vegas, unfortunately, so that would set us up for another restart here in stage 3, and we had actually pitted again and came out P4 behind the 14, and you can see exactly how that went. Unfortunately now, as he did not go at all, and the 48, the 10, the 20, and the 41, they're all long gone now as we go down into turns 1. Andrew was able to get into the inside. He started right behind me. Now as I immediately tried to get to the inside of the 14 there, but he started kind of closing that gap, so I backed out of it because I saw the 2 coming as well on the inside as we go down this back straightaway. A little bit of contact maybe between the 19 and the 00 as we go down into turn 3 running that top lane, and Andrew slides up the track, and I could have shot to the inside of him, but I decided to just play it safer. There's the 31 behind me, actually got into the wall, and they actually went crashing down this front straightaway, so once again that would end up bringing out a caution as we go down into turns 1. So P10 at this point. Now as they actually go wrecking in front of us, so I just kind of hug the wall and hope that I don't get involved in that incident. But once again, we get going from P9 here in Las Vegas now, as it's still a little bit over 30 laps to go, about 36 or so, as we go down towards turns 1. So just trying to just bide our time, make sure we don't do anything stupid. Obviously, the way this league works, you can be running, there's 15 cars in this race, you can be running 15th with 5 laps to go and still win pretty much at any track. So certainly nothing to be too concerned about at this point in the race as we go down into turns 3. Matt Chaffee leading the way over Smoke in the 2, and then 20 of Matt, our other teammate Karma, up there on the top. There's the 14 is going to follow, and we would continue in around the same areas that actually gotten down to the inside at this point behind Andrew. There's the 20 got into the wall, the 18 gets involved, and so do we. down through the grass, but thankfully we hang on to it. But obviously that was a complete mess, as that would end up bringing out a caution there, as the 22, the 31, they're all going all over the place there on the outside wall. But so stage 3 kind of turning into a caution fest, very unfortunately, because that's not my type of racing I like. But once again, we would get back going green at this point, running P7 now as we went down towards turns 1. Chaffee still out front. Andrew to the inside. The 22 hit the apron or something, shot out the track quite a bit there as we came through the center of the corner. Now they're going to go 3 wide in front of us between Jay, Andrew, and the 14 of Emright, as we are going to use the draft from the 14 to get clear of Andrew down into turns 3. But now just everything turned into a bit of a mess at this point. Now we're just hoping that we can at least stay green for a little bit now as we came out of turns 4, getting into quite the battle. We climbed up to P3 on the outside of the 14 behind Smoke, and I decided I'm going to go 3 wide up the middle here, and we actually surprisingly make it work now. As the inside, like I said, it's so hard to make it work, but we were able to make it work and get past the 2 of Smoke eventually as we went down into turn. So you're doing everything I can to just get ahead of him, because I didn't want to be trapped on the bottom now, as he actually pushes up a little bit on the exit of turns 4, and that would be what I obviously needed to get clear. So we'd be running P2 at this point, and then a caution once again came out here in Las Vegas at this point, approaching just 20 laps to go. So certainly starting to run out of time at this point. I was approaching it just as a quick little stage, and we had got back going once again here now on lap 93. This was just a little bit after the restart, running actually P4, as Matt was actually finding himself now behind us as we went down into turns 1. Andrew at this point had taken the lead after the whole pit cycle and restart thing happened. I think we did have an attempted restart that just went nowhere, so I didn't show that. Now as we go through down this front straightaway, trying to get to the outside of Smoke. 3 wide up the middle between Smoke and Karma. Actually made a little bit of contact with the 2, so I backed out of the 3 wide as we went down into turns 1. He pushes up the track, so obviously now I shoot up the inside through the center of the corner now as we're 3 wide on the exit of turn 2. And unfortunately, we would kind of just get stuck on this bottom and lose a little bit of time as Matt Chaffee got in front of us. Now we were running P5 now. As you see, some great racing at this point, though, for the lead. We have so many JGR cars up here, which was certainly nice to see. Obviously, Karma in P2 just behind. Andrews went down into turn 3, continuing to follow Matt. He had jumped up to the top now. It was Justin going 3 wide in the middle between Karma and Andrew for the lead now, as there's a little bit of contact made, and that slows up Karma. I wasn't really wanting to make a risky move, so I just kind of committed to pushing Karma at this point as we went down into turn 3. So just at this point, I was just hoping I could get to the top, because I was stuck on the bottom for so many laps here on this whole green flag run, as there was actually a little bit of contact with the 31 of Justin there. And now they're wrecking behind us, and the caution once again would end up getting called, I believe, as we go down into turns 1. Maybe not now. Oh, yes, it did get called. So we were running P3 at this point, and obviously now it was, do we want to pit or not? So I decided to pit. 14-8, we come out P2 behind our teammate of Andrew. So now we certainly have a good chance maybe to make something happen as we would get back going once again. And actually, Andrew trying to kind of bamboozle me on the restart, and it worked for the most part, because we were down in P4 heading down into turns 1. The 22 up to the top, Karma on the bottom. Still got the JGR clan up in the top 5, other than the 18 of Rocket. Obviously, you see Jay there, the affiliate, up here as well in the mix now as we came through on lap 103. You see the 22 making a huge move to the inside and made it work for the lead on Andrew as we went down this front straightaway. We have a ton of momentum. I'm going to shoot to the outside, obviously. That's just where I felt most comfortable. I didn't want to make a move to the bottom here with less than 10 laps to go now in Las Vegas. Andrew tries to get that bottom to work, but you see it's just not working, unfortunately, as we exit turn 2. The 22 of another Matt, actually, in the league. There's so many Matts in the league, like I said last episode, as we go down towards turn 3, giving him a little bit of a shot, but we came through, though, on lap 105. We'd actually gotten a caution again, running P2 behind him, so this would set us up for, once again, another situation. I decided to come to the pit lane for your 2 tires. Some drivers took 4, some drivers stayed out, so now we were P6 coming to the restart here on lap 106. Jay and Andrew on the front row. We get going, and it's a decent restart from Andrew. Certainly could have been worse, but it could have been a little bit better, so I wasn't too disappointed with that. But obviously, knowing that now our chances of winning weren't very good at this point, because here we are in P7 with just a handful of laps to go, as it's a little bit crazy here on this restart. Behind us, we got our teammate Karma as we're pushing Andrew a little bit down this back straightaway. Jay leads the way into turn 3 over the 00. Obviously, Jay, the 00, and the 19 of Andrew don't have any fresh tires. We're going to get very close quarters racing as we exit turn 4. Andrew on the outside. We make contact, actually, as a caution, and once again come out here. And then you see the 22 and the 00 get together after the caution comes out, and this would create a very interesting scenario. The 22 wrongfully got sent to the back because of that incident, and then the 00 dropped to the back, and all of a sudden we were pushing into overtime, and I found myself in the second position for this restart due to that crash after the caution. So now we were getting ready to go green for an overtime restart here from P2 in Las Vegas. Jay leads away as we are underway. 2 laps remain in Las Vegas. Did not expect to find myself on the front row for this restart, but after everything happened, here we are. Not a brilliant restart for myself, but it certainly could have been worse as we go down into turns 1. Andrew, if he gets clear of me and down this back straightaway, that's going to end our chances, but sure enough, we fight back on the right-hand side of Andrew as we go down this back straightaway. Behind us, we got Matt Chaffee, the 2 of Smoke on the inside behind Andrew. We clear Andrew, but I do not want that bottom. Jay, he decides to go on the bottom. Keep in mind, Jay does not have fresh tires, and neither does the 19 of Andrew. Now as we exit turn 4, Jay looking for his first win ever in this league, and obviously he's an affiliate teammate, a great friend of mine. I've known him for so many years, but I wanted this win so bad as we start this final lap here in Las Vegas, down into turns 1 on this inside, through the center of the corner. We're going to have the momentum over Jay as we're going to go 3 wide for the lead on the final lap in Las Vegas. Thankfully, we keep it clean down this back straightaway. We clear Jay, we clear the 10 of Matt Chaffee. Now as it's just kind of a mess behind us as we go down into turn 3, I cover the bottom to make sure no one can lick the stamp in Daniel Ricciardo into the corner and slide up in front of me possibly, but we exit turn 4 on the final lap. It's a mess behind us. We will come through to get our first win of the season here in the Nitro Cup Series, so a great finish for us. Stage 1 we won, Stage 2 second, and we win the race and lock ourselves into the Nitro Cup Series playoffs here later in the season there, as Matt gives us a little congratulations there after the race. So great for us to get to victory lane early in the season. Certainly was delighted to make that happen, as I didn't think with the, like 6 laps to go, I thought there was no chance we're going to be in P2 being able to win this race or fight for the win now as we come through to do our burnout after the race. But certainly glad to get you guys a win early in the season. I hope you guys are enjoying some of this stuff. The third stage was a pretty big mess, unfortunately, but we were just kind of able to come out on top of that. Stage 1 and 2 were really good, and the next race of the season is actually at Bristol, so that's going to be certainly an interesting one. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, so obviously we'll see how it does go. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on the race in the comments. So in the next one, like I said, it is Bristol, so I will see you guys though in the next video. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.